Welcome. This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the 25th of July, 2014, with a commentary for the day. And it's going to be short and sweet, I hope, unless I got more to say. You can always email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. I want to comment on the World Trade Organization, the IMF Bank. I just heard part of a show, actually, Coast to Coast AM, where they had where George Norrie had a guest on that spoke specifically about that issue, and I got to tell you, it is. Let me bottom line it for you, not only specifically about the IMF and the World Trade Organization and all of that. Let me just go throughout the whole board and say your banks, your local churches, your politicians that are doing everything that they can because they're ordered to, your state-run media, your local newspapers, everything, also on a national scale. So let me incorporate all that into this next statement. 4 words, folks. 4 words that you have to understand. It is all fake. You understand me? Yeah, we can see things happening. We can understand that there are things rolling, that there are things happening all over the place, and that's fine. We see it. It's happening out in front of us. We know it's happening. We see those things transpiring. We see the cars going by. We see people going to work. We see the stores opening. We see the banks opening. We see transactions taking. We see all this, but what's the reason? And what is putting all of this out there? How is all of this transpiring without something making it happen? Okay, so you have to really think about this. Now, we can be involved in this, what I call the ecumenical matrix. We can be involved in it and be a part of it and work through it and be the part of that what is transpiring around us. But when we go and look behind the scenes, when we go and look behind the facade, when we look at the charades that are taking place within these organizations, within the banks, within the oil companies, within everything, when we look behind the scenes, we see nothing but, well, I can only describe it as misguided, diabolical actions from people who have no heart for humanity, period. I'll put it that way. That's deep, and that's very, direct. But these people have absolutely no say in anything. These people have no say, the bankers, they have no say in how anything is transpired or how things work because they are told by the higher-ups how things are going to be. Give you a prime example, a whistleblower from Washington, D.C. many years ago, and I remember hearing this from reading parts of this as well in other locations, where former members of the Carter and Ford administration, the President Jimmy Carter and President Ford administration, they came out and said that it's all manipulated, it's all rigged, it's all set up to, for the benefit of the corporations. Everything is set up to do just that. How? Well, the person you supposedly have the free choice of choosing or voting to be president walks into the Oval Office, and everything that they say on the campaign trail, as we know from Barack Obama's administration, is a complete and total lie, because before that person is put into the office, your votes don't count, by the way, they are told, here's what you have to say in the debates, here's how you're going to work, and this is what suit you're going to wear, and they have it all planned out. And that person that goes into that office is nothing more than a puppet in a suit. And those people that have said, those candidates, those president-elects, those presidents that have been put in those offices, these people from the Carter and Ford administration that have come out and said what goes on behind the scenes literally say, you walk into the Oval Office, 3 or 4 people come in with suits on and say, okay, yeah, we know what you said on the campaign trail. Here's what you're actually going to do. And they give you the script. They give you the orders. They give you everything. They give this person in the suit in the White House, and this is how they're going to be. Now, add to that psychological operations. Add to that neuro-linguistic programming. Add to that the state-run media. Add to that, just keep adding and adding and adding it all up. What you see in your state-run media is nothing but a facade. What you hear these people saying is nothing but a charade. And when you look behind the scenes, it is nothing more than a Hollywood set, and everything is phony, fake, and useless. Okay? Now, some people would say, well, if you say that, and if that's true, then why are we even bothering voting? Yeah, good question. Why do you vote? If 46% of the American people can vote for Bill Clinton twice, and I think the second time was like 44%, then something is definitely wrong with people in America. If over 52% could vote the second time around for Barack Obama, I think it was 52% or 49, somewhere around in there. What is wrong with people? Okay, these people are using this as a metaphor, as an analogy, as a scenario, as whatever you want to call it. These people that voted for Bill Clinton and for George Bush and for Barack Obama twice are the same people that say, stop sign? We don't need no stinking stop sign. We'll just go through it. We don't care. Because they have no common sense. Because they have no common sense in terms of what is right or what is wrong. They don't care. They don't care. Joel Gilbert made a documentary, a film, and he found the woman that said that, we don't have to worry about our mortgage. We don't have to worry about our car payment. He found that woman. And you know what that woman said about Barack Obama? She said, and I quote, he lied. And she's a black woman. If I know anything about the behavior of people, that when you lie to them, they're not, number one, they're not going to trust you, and number two, they're going to throw you under the bus as quick as anything else. Okay. Now, the bottom line is, what is the solution? I can talk all day about what's happening, but what is the solution? The solution is coming out of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which is we have to demand and force every single constitutional politician that we have in Congress, whoever is left. We have to demand and force their hand in putting the Constitution and the Bill of Rights in front of the president, vice president, and the rest of Congress and saying, this is the rule of law, this is how we're going to work it, and here's what we're going to do. We are going to defund 75% of all of the departments here that are unconstitutional, that have no business being, involved in any political process, and we're going to get rid of every single quote-unquote czar that we have, and that includes the inner circle of Barack Obama, which most of those members are Muslim Brotherhood members. This is what we have to do, and we have to really push these people into making it happen. Now, a lot of people would say, well, we can't. There's no way. We're unable to. You know who's saying that? The far-left liberal goons that have nothing better to do than to throw a monkey wrench into this system and destroy freedom and liberty for the rest of us constitutional patriots. And I'm going to say this once and for all, and I'm going to put this out here and make it on record. Most of my friends who consider themselves liberal, that are in the middle, that say, well, I got more, I'm conservative and liberal. I look at things from both sides, blah, blah, blah. You're not liberal. You're nonpartisan. Okay? But let me nail that to the wall and tell you this. Any of my liberal friends, any of my friends who say and claim that they are liberal, who are in the middle, who are liberal, who tout that philosophy, are siding with Marxists. They're siding with the fascist, socialist, communist in this country to take down this country to do one thing, to get what they want, because they believe they deserve it. Well, no, you don't. Get your ass up and go out and work for it. Pardon my language. But the bottom line is this. There is only two ways to solve this problem. One, constitutionally. Period. The second way we can, under the Constitution, is to defund every single program that is doing nothing more than putting money and profits into the hands of the 1%. In other words, cut them off from the trough. That's it. Nancy Pelosi, oh my God, let's not go there. She's just opened up a bucket of crazy, and she's, a moron. The Republicans are now filing to have Harry Reid removed and fired. He's not running for another term. But he needs to go away. Okay? He needs to go away. He's the worst senator, I would say, amongst others, but he is one of the worst. That really, he blames the Republicans for having a gridlock in Washington, D.C. No, Mr. Reid, you are to blame, you freaking moron. Why don't you and Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein and Nancy Pelosi all go to the same nut farm that you came from? Why don't you go back there? Why don't you go to a retirement home, for goodness sakes, and just let somebody else take care of you, since that's what you want? I know I get a little excited, right? Let me conclude this commentary by saying this. I know it's not a commentary, it's me ranting, so thank you for listening. I appreciate that very much. And if you don't like my rants, email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. So let me end this with this statement. You and I are fully capable of taking back this country. How? Number one, stop paying for it. Stop paying for abortion. Stop paying for those organizations that fund abortion. How's that? Stop paying these organizations that fund unconstitutional politicians. There's two things right there. Third thing I'm thinking of is defund or stop paying for criminal law enforcement. How's that? Let's take care of that one. Oh, how about this one? This is a biggie. How about defunding or stop paying taxes altogether on every level until there is a flat tax across the board of 15%, period. Oh, how's that going to work? Well, very simple. If you are fortunate enough to own a company that makes $1 billion a year, you pay 15% of that in taxes. If you are a single mom working 2 jobs and you're trying to, you're struggling to pay the rent, both those, that whole income should be taxed at 15%. So if you make, say, $800 gross on one area, on one job, and $1,000 gross on another, you can either quit one job and just go from there and not have to pay the additional 15%, or pay the 15% each on both jobs. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? So think about that one for a minute. Now, is any of this going to work? Let me give you this. Because of what's happening in our current system right now, the military-industrial complex and those criminals in Washington, D.C., District of Criminals, already know that what they're planning to do by destroying the economy in the United States of America is going to cause you and I to get out into the streets like they did in Greece and in European countries that came out in the tens of thousands out in the street and protested against their corrupt government. The military-industrial complex and this current administration already know, including the bankers that control Washington, D.C., and the corporates that control the rest of us, including those in Washington, D.C., they already know that we're going to commit to protesting this whole system as they bring it online. They understand this. They've already prepared for the unrest, is my point. They already have gamed, war gamed this in offices and in halls everywhere and in their secret bunkers. They said, if we do this, the people are going to do this. If we incrementally destroy the United States of America, we're going to set up little traps to where they're not able to commit to an unrest in this country, commit to protesting and causing an unrest in America. They already know this. Some people would say, then what's the point in resisting? 3% of the population of the new colonies, which later became the United States of America, had the very same thought. But they beat back the biggest army in the world. And we have the United States of America thanks to those 3% of those people. Now, here is a little something for you to know. They have UN troops, United Nations troops on American soil, hidden in all sorts of secret areas, I'm sure. They have foreign troops on American soil. Saudi army, Mexican army, Iraqi army, Pakistani army, Denmark army. They have them. Chinese army. They wound up coming here for a disaster relief drill program to learn how to deal with natural disasters and all. From China. They landed in Hawaii. This is a few months ago. I don't know if they're still here or whatever. But it wouldn't take them long, maybe a couple of days, to fly military equipment into the United States. And for anybody to think that this wouldn't happen, think again. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. We are going to, people talk about the Red Dawn scenario. You ever seen that movie with Patrick Swayze and the original one? This is going to happen. There is no doubt. People talk about that, but it's going to be a lot worse. There's not going to be a whole lot of there's not going to be a whole lot of time for us to really regroup. We're just going to have to go full bore into this. And if we do have time to regroup and reset and take care of our, whoever we need to take care of, then we'll do that. But they are completely right now overwhelming the system. It's a Cloward and Piven strategy. Go look that up. Cloward and Piven. They're going to overwhelm the system with their diabolical implementation of this total and absolute destruction of the United States of America. And we know this, and we understand this, and we can resist this. Yes, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to really be beneficial at the outset, but in the long term, we're going to rise above it like the phoenix out of a fire, and we're going to start kicking ass, and we don't care who they are. We don't care where they come from. We don't care what religion they are. We will rise as a part of humanity striving for freedom and liberty and peace and security in the nation our founding fathers created for us. Now, look at what's coming down the line. Look at what's coming down the line. And if you can't see it, you just watch what's going on in your own city. You just watch what's going on in your own county and state and nationally. Here's how to do that. Turn off your propaganda machine called network news. CNN, Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC. Turn it all off. Turn it all off. Turn it all off. Look at the alternative and independent media, but judge for yourself what you find to be beneficial and accurate. I'm not going to tell you where to go, who to go listen to, but you need to do that. Turn off your damn TVs. Turn off the NPR, the boring voice that's way down here talking about things that don't matter. You need to look with your own eyes, get out of your ecumenical matrix, and begin to live, and as Yoda would say, unlearn what you have learned. In other words, don't obsess over the past. Don't obsess over the fear that they're trying to instill within you. Don't obsess or hold on to anything that is not beneficial to you. Throw it all away. Learn to let go of that fear. And it's very, very difficult to do that. Because what the opposition cannot stand is a fearless people. This is why when you look around, you're seeing a complete and utter manifestation of the neuro-linguistic programming they're using to instill fear within you. And they know this. And people like myself who are awake to this are the ones who are trying to wake the others up. And what the opposition doesn't like is the fact that we have millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people in the United States that are completely and utterly fearless. Well, fear can be positive. No, it can't. But fear can be the basis by which you grow upon the light that shines within you, that you know is there. but fail to accept. I'll be back right after this brief break. The world as we know it is changing. We must speak out against the tyranny in our country. Stand up, speak out, get involved. Live Truth Radio. The reality underneath the honesty. LiveTruthRadio.com. Welcome back to close out this commentary, and thank you for listening to my rant. I just get a little excited about the fact that there's a group of people out there, one, going against everything that is right, that is, people want peace, freedom, and security. They're going against that. They're going against anything that is, true to patriot. To the patriot movement. I'm sure they are ones that would not mind at all if somebody burned the flag. So you got those types of people too. I'm just really pissed off at people who say they're awake and aware and are certainly, smart enough to realize this, but who really ignoring the bigger picture. Okay? And aren't following, connecting the dots or following the money. Okay. So if I got a little angry, if I got a little preachy, if I got a little, out there and started really, getting you a little ticked off, then hey, I don't apologize for what I say, but at least I made you think, eh? Think about that one. So anyway, folks, I'm going to get out of here. Just want to remind everybody that the views expressed in the Wayne S. Pierce Show, other than these podcasts, is taking a well-deserved vacation until Monday, August 4th. So I will be back broadcasting live Monday, August 4th with the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed live. So please come join me. If you have any questions, of course, you can always ask me. Even if you disagree with me, it doesn't, doesn't matter. I want to know. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. So if you want also to listen to a very, very good show with great guests, go listen to Brian Lang over at livetruthradio.com. That's Live Truth Radio. You can find him on Facebook at Live Truth 911. And you can also listen to his show as it's live. You can go listen to it at livetruthradio.com. And, click on the live broadcast or the live, feed, whatever, and check it out and involve yourself in the chat room there on his site. And anyway, remember, I'm not going to be here until, other than these podcasts, until August 4th with the live broadcasts of the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed live. Any questions, please ask. No question is off limits. If I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. And this has been a lengthy commentary. I am Reverend Wayne S. Pierce, and this is the Free America Radio Network at freeamericaradio.us.